All right. Welcome, everybody. How we doing? How we doing tonight? Having a good day, I hope. All right, we're back. Welcome to Game Dev Daily number 10. It is January the 15th. We've missed 2/3 of the days so far this year. So, so much for a daily, where I'm missing more than I've... Actually, I haven't missed more than I've streamed, but 2/3... I could be doing a lot worse than that. At least we're still going. That's cool. And I've remembered to actually put on some music this stream, so we will have some video game lo-fi in the background. Okay. What are we thinking about? I think we're gonna hop into it. So little quick recap for what we were looking at last stream. We have kind of finished tinkering around with the Thorn spell for now. I'm like pretty happy with it. So we can charge it up, we can fire it. If we charge it up for long enough, we can fire it. And it shoots out and explodes. And I reduced the speed like pretty significantly from my initial speed. I think it's at a good point now that I'm like pretty happy with it. I guess I didn't charge it for long enough though. Yeah, there we go. I mean, I think it looks pretty good actually. I'm like pretty happy with it. I'm gonna be honest. It's pretty close to like how I envisioned wanting this spell to work. I don't know. Like, this is something that I feel like you kind of come across if you do game dev. Like, you'll build something and you'll be like, man, this thing that I built feels really good. And then you'll just kind of mess around with it for like ages. And it just feels so nice to just do it. Even though there's like nothing like particularly interesting happening. Like, I'm literally just firing a projectile and like whoop-de-doo. Like, there's no challenge here. It's not even really an objective. I'm just running around. But it's just nice to make something and see it like actually do what you built it to do. I don't know. I feel like if you've done any game dev or even kind of any sort of like media where you can watch it back or experience it in real time, I think you can like get that kind of sensation. Okay, so what do I want to do? What do we want to do this stream? This is a fantastic question. I kind of don't want to do art. I'm not that interested in doing art. We could just do like more and more spells. Like, that's definitely one thing. I think I might actually something we will do. I'm gonna like really quick. I'm gonna do a passover of all my current spells, and I'm just gonna tidy them up since I moved a bunch of stuff into fixed update, and we might like just adjust a bunch of code now that we've like kind of learned a bunch of stuff while doing the Thorn spell. So we're just gonna do a quick review. I know that that's kind of what I spent the first couple streams doing, but yeah, we're gonna quick review our spells. So we'll go through them one at a time. Where's my player class? Bit stormy outside my house today, which is weird because it's like the middle of summer in Australia here, but it has been pissing down, as we would say. Actually, hasn't rained that much, but I'll exaggerate it all I want. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's go through these one at a time. So let's just go through the first set. Jump's already on. Let's look at wall, make sure wall's fine, and fireball. Okay, so I'm gonna look at these first. And I'm realizing that I need to pull the code up. Not that I've really done anything interesting, but here we are. We've just set the spells to the first 5, so these ones here. So we're going to start by testing this out and making sure that we're just going to give all these spells a look and see how they function. And I think for the most part, don't need to do anything. Like, I'm probably pretty happy with them. I think I might want to make the pea shooter projectile a bit bigger, actually, but I guess it's fine for now. Pea shooter, you can shoot up, you can shoot down if you're jumping. Notably, if you're not airborne, so if you're airborne, you can kind of shoot in like every direction. Although it's a little finicky to do it. If you're not airborne, you can only shoot in the upwards directions. Like even if I'm up here on the cliff, I can't shoot diagonally down, which is like maybe something I'd wanna change. But I think more often than not, it's gonna be a bit annoying. But I don't know, I'll like think about it if that's something we want to do. Another alternative is that I could like potentially make the game like keyboard and mouse, and then it's kind of like you know, point to where you want to shoot and then shoot in that direction. That's an option too. WASD controls. I think it's just a bit annoying to cast spells though, so I think I prefer arrow keys, spacebar, and then you're using QWER for whatever else. So the dash, I don't think I have to do anything because the movement for the dash is actually just handled by... Actually, that's not entirely true. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll be right back, he says, as he just spins his chair around. I just need to pull out a drink bottle. Stay hydrated, folks. Yeah, I wanted to investigate. So I know the jump spell definitely not working. That one we're absolutely certain of. When I press the jump button, there's no charge to it. It just insta-fires, so I need to fix that. Because it shouldn't be insta-firing. There should be like a second delay on it or something. I can't remember how long I'm supposed to have on it. Half second maybe. Wall spell, I think is fine. I think there's anything that I wanted to do with the wall spell. I think for the time being, I'm alright with it. It works well enough. Pretty sure I can't push it into the wall, yeah, which is good. That's like pretty flush with the game object. What happens if I jump up here and then do this? Yeah, it doesn't let me pass through it. Okay. I mean, the wall object's working pretty well. I'm pretty surprised, actually, that I managed to make this not be complete ass. It's like reasonably happy with the wall spell. And then T is my fireball. So, I don't think there's anything I need to do for this one. Oh, I can give it a different arc if I hold down and the direction that I'm moving in. But not if I'm holding straight down, it doesn't work. That's interesting. But you can arc it a little differently. You can shoot it down if you're in the middle of the air. This should have way more initial speed. It's kind of like I'm just bombing and dropping it. The initial speed should be way higher, and I should be able to fire it diagonally. So there's like a bunch of things with the fireball that I'd want to fix at some point. Wait, can I arc it? No, that just goes straight up. Yeah, so the fireball definitely has some stuff to tweak, but I'm probably not going to focus on that this stream. Okay, let's pop out. We're going to start by looking at these in order. So the pea shooter spell, I don't think there's anything too exciting in here that I have to look at. 5 mana cost. This is the speed value that we instantiate the P with. Cooldown 0.1. Yeah, and we assign the P speed manually. Honestly, what I should probably have is the speed be a value. This speed value should be set in the constructor of the P object probably. And then if you wanted to override it, you could. New vector 2, speed 0. Yeah, so I'm kind of declaring the actual direction I want to move it in here when I instantiate it. Whereas with the Thorn, we don't do it like that. We base it off of... I have to look at the Thorn projectile. With the Thorn, we calculate it based off of the rotation of the object before it fires, and that's because the object already exists. Whereas with the P, we instantiate it and it immediately starts moving, so we need to have a direction for it to move in. So it does make sense to immediately set the direction. And in this case, we just do the speed at the same time with the P. So yeah, this speed value is the vector 2, which also takes into account the direction as well. What about when we shoot it diagonally? Do I do any Pythagoras? Holding? No, I don't. So it actually travels faster if I shoot it diagonally, which is not ideal. Yeah. That's traveling faster than that. Although it's kind of hard to tell when it's moving that fast anyway, but the diagonal one does travel faster. Like if I'm moving and I do this, they should be traveling right at the same distance or at the same speed. Like horizontally, they should stay the same distance away from each other, just vertically they move differently. Anyway, let's hop back over. So I'm probably not gonna mess with any of this right now. I'm gonna look at the P object itself, make sure this is all set up properly, which I believe it's fine. Checking terrain and enemy separately, making the enemy take damage, that's all good. And then moving the object in the fixed update script, which is also good. Okay. So that's the P shooter. I think the dash is working fine as well, but we'll give it a quick look. Where is A1? A1 dash. Base dot start, mana cost 10. Player can move as false. We set the vector, and this is happening in the execute. And then we resume their ability to move after the fact. So while our can move is false, we can't interrupt the dash with anything, and not only can we not interrupt the dash, but we're also not checking physics. So we're not applying gravity. We're not applying gravity, and we're actually just skipping like basically everything while can move is disabled. Like if I go into the player script and we look at the can move boolean, we don't check for any inputs, and we're not doing any of these physics applications either. Now, what I should really have is probably a separate boolean, which is player.dashing, and that would be better to use to like temporarily exceed the speed cap, or not even to exceed the speed cap, but to like uncap. Well, not even uncap. You're really not like trying to uncap the player's speed. You're just trying to manually set the player to a static value that's above the speed cap, which in this case is 4. But I mean, it could really be whatever. Anyway, like this is fine. And then I'm dashing for 0.12f. Which is using scale time which will give you the same distance, given that the player moves, this player speed is applied in fixed update. Here. What is my speed factor? Must be a value that I've set in the editor. Okay. So that's that. We're gonna okay. Well, let's fix the jump spell, shall we? Because the jump spell we know is not working. When we cast, if player is not grounded, don't cast. Otherwise, allow the cast to happen. We do the base cast. Delayed 0.3F. So I think the issue here is in the base spell class instead. Inside our base spell class, we get the player. And here's the issue. Which is that this delay is not working properly. Wait, it should be working though, right? Am I crazy? I actually have way too many scripts open. I need to close most of them. We can come to them later as we come to them. Okay, so let's look at our jump script. We are in our cast. We have a delay of 0.3, and we know that this is not quite working at the moment. Now the question is why? Start coroutine, delay. Delay checks our delay and while incrementing the count. And every time it should wait 0.1. So why is this not working? For some reason, if I let go of the key early, we set casting to false, can move to true, ready to true, and then we yield break. But then I think we're still doing all of this, aren't we? I think we're still doing all of this, interestingly. Because like this will run the delay coroutine, and then if we break out of it, we're exiting early, and we're still going to execute though. Okay, here's what I want to test. Let's give this a much bigger delay to see how noticeable it is. Let's put a 2-second delay on the jump. I'm going to start by trying to hold down the button. I think I know what the issue is here. I just don't know how I haven't noticed it. So that's the dash. No, it's still happening almost instantly. So something weird is going on. And if I let go fast enough, it doesn't work. That's also weird. I gotta figure out why this code actually works to begin with. This is happening in neither. We're using neither update nor fixed update for this script. So why is this delay coroutine not working? Okay, I want to try debug.logging in here. And we're gonna log the count. Like so. And we're gonna pull open the console and we're just gonna look and see what this is spitting out at us. 0. It's not even, that's weird. It calls this once, and it has no delay on it. But I definitely have a delay value here. So what's going on? Delay is equal to 2f. In the player script, right? We're assigning jump to spell 3. And then we check spell 3 here, where we get the spell 3 key. If we're not casting, cast the spell. I mean, we know all this works because all the other spells work fine. So our spell 3 is the jump spell. Oh, my throat not doing well tonight, unfortunately. We have a delay. So why is this not working? This logs once. I want to also log what the delay value is here. Because it should be 2, but it looks like it's... It looks like it's 0. Or less than 0. Why is this, because it's not a local variable, I guess. Sure. Alright, what are you going to spit out at me? Delay 2. Delay is definitely 2. Yield, return. Oh, does this instantly, This still runs the rest of this code, right? I'm not crazy, yeah? Oh. My throat not doing well tonight. I gotta figure out where we're breaking. Wrong button. Okay, I want to clear that. Okay, I think the issue here might be that this is not evaluating to true for some reason. Does hit this, does increment count, but I think it's breaking early. So we're gonna just log everything. Alright, we're just going the brute force method. Everything's being logged. I got 2 key down checks. A true and a false. How is that making any sense? Oh, wait, no, it's fine. So it's running through the loop twice. That is correct, actually. I actually want to log the count up here. I was logging the count in the wrong spot. Yeah, I know the delay is being set properly. I'm just going to remove that log. We're going to debug. We're going to log the count now. Count 0, count 0.1, and then key down is then equal to false after the fact. So basically, this is not picking up. Turns true while the user holds the key identified by the key code enum parameter. Now this spell key isn't changing anywhere. It's just equal to the key that we pass in, which in this case is the spell 3 key, and the spell 3 key is the E key, wherever I'm setting it. Yeah, key code E. So why is it not registering that I'm holding it down? It doesn't see it, and then it breaks. And then this also doesn't work, just as I predicted. If I manually let go, it does work, I think. I think it does anyway. Maybe not, though. The thing is, I don't even know what I did to break this spell, because it definitely used to work. Oh, interesting. Okay, hold on. That's really weird. So I can hold down the button. If I hold it down, we can see it's incrementing and it stops. Channeled, true. Key down, true. It's still running the loop the whole time. But I jumped like near instantly. Also interesting bloody C# floats. You'll love to see it. Of course, everything else prints totally fine, but 0.8 and 0.9 are like, nah. So dumb. Okay, why am I insta-jumping? That's what we now have to figure out. I think it's because we're returning, right? It should just be yield. Should be yields. Wait for seconds? No. I think the return immediately triggers it. Unity yield for time without returning in delay. Like, I don't want to return this. Unless I do, actually. Wait, maybe the loop should be here while we start coroutines. That's also possible. Okay, I'm just doing a little bit of online looking into it. Start int index. So I have an I enumerator, which in this case is delay. And I'm not overriding this in the jump spell. No, we're not. Int index. I'm using a float. Actually, I don't know why I'm using a float. I should use an int to resolve these issues. Oh, I bet that's why I was having all the angle problems too. Because I bet you I was using a float there. When I should absolutely be using an int. Oh, I kind of, if I'm doing... okay, in this case, I kind of have to use a float. Which is fine, like, it's not a big deal for this. But I bet in the degrees instance with the thorn, which I'm going to open up really fast. I bet you for all this angle shit, I'm using a float. I bet this is a float value. Yeah. See, I could cast this as an int and then do these rotation values and it would probably... Oh, actually... No, it's just always going to be a float. Because I'm getting it out of the vector. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's fine. Alright, anyway. Sidetracked myself there. So I have to use float here because I can use fractions of a second. I could probably use decimal as well, actually. I wonder if that would work any better. It might. Instead of float, I could use decimal. I'm not going to bother right now, though. Leave it with float. While index is less than or equal to 20, yield return, wait until true is space key pressed. Print. Hold the coroutine loop until space button is clicked. Yeah, so the issue here is this immediate yield return you wait for seconds, I think is instantly ending the coroutine and allowing this to continue playing out, even though it'll still go through and execute this stuff. It'll just happen late, like it'll pass before this is finished. So like if I do a debug.log here, which just says continuing, and then I can remove these values because we don't care about them. So it'll start continuing after the first count loop. So it'll be count 0, and then it will immediately go continuing, and then it'll go count 0.1. And I'm pretty sure that's how this is going to work. So I'll hold down the button again. Yeah, I think that's exactly what we saw. 0, and then immediately continuing because it's yielded the return. So there are obviously ways we can resolve this. Unity yield for time without return. Is that what it looked? Wait for second without start coroutine. Actually, I want to look at that example I was looking at last time. Hold on. Where was it? Not the right thread. Okay, found it. Hold on. Yield return, wait until... So I can do it. I wait until true is an option. I can also add a value based on time.delta game time. Basically what I'm trying to do here is every... Okay, Okay, what's actually happening here? We're doing a while loop, and we're going from 0 with increments of 0.1 to see if we've let go of the button. So every 0.1 seconds, I run this code that checks, am I still holding the button down? And I'm using 0.1 as like my room for leeway here, which is probably fine. I could probably do more frequent than this, but yeah, that's what I chose to do. Now, I could solve this by just having the loop be at the upper level and starting a coroutine every single time I want to wait, but I don't really like that. Like, I'm wondering if there's a solution where I can do it in just all in here. So what I want to have happen... Can I do this without a yield return? Wait, does this just work? Then I can like yield return here. Like this. Okay, let me try this one and let me reduce the delay back down. Let's do like 0. I'll just do 0.3. That's what I had in initially. Take a look. So I think this is working correctly. Oh, actually, you know what? It's not. So the wait for seconds is not actually doing anything. This is declaring a new wait for seconds, but it's not actually running anything. And I can't do yield. I can't yield without returning. Okay, maybe I do just have to put the loop up here then. I mean, it's fine. So what we're gonna do is up here, we put a float in. And actually, I check if delay. I'll check if I have delay first. If delay greater than 0. Get rid of this. Cut this up here. Now we're gonna do the loop. So we instantiate count equal to 0, and then while count is less than delay, start the coroutine, and then I go count plus equals 0.1. Can I do this? 0.f, right? Forgot. Floats, huh? So this will count all the way up to the delay value. And then it will go past. And so in the delay, I can still do this check. Oh, actually, hold on. I need to leave in this yield, importantly. So then what I actually want to do is I want to do this if check first, and then I want to yield a return. So like this. Now what I noted earlier is that this check is not actually going to work. It's just going to allow the play to move, but it won't cancel the spell from casting entirely, which is what I actually need to do. So I kind of need to move this as well, actually. Outside. So I do a check. Am I still holding the key? And if I'm not still holding the key, then break. Oh, actually return is what I should use. Break will just take me out of the loop, which is not what I want to do. I actually want to cancel the function early. Now, with all of this, we should have properly made the delay, and this is what I can move out into a delay function. Which is probably what I'll do. So I can make a protected void. So I can call this one delay. And then I can copy all of this into the delay. And then I'll call this something else. Instead of calling this delay, I'll call it maybe delay time, I guess. It's going to check, are you still holding the keys, then wait 0.1, increment the counter, and then do the while loop again. Until it's set up, and then here I just run delay. And I don't even have to pass anything in, because it's all in the same class. So with this, hopefully I've set it up properly, and it'll work. Why do I have logs in here at all? I took all the logs out. Okay, well, we'll just see if it works. Looks like it's still going instantly. Not great. Okay, I'm missing something then. Okay, I'm gonna go back to setting this to like, I'll set it to like a second so it's really obvious. So what's going on in here now? Oh, I didn't start the coroutine. Wait, no, it's not a coroutine though. The coroutine start happens here. So it's gonna run delay, it's gonna come in. Oh, actually, yeah. This return is not going to do it because it's not going to return out of this. So what I can do is have it actually be a boolean, not a. And then here I'll have it return false. Otherwise, if it gets through the loop, it will return true. I don't think this is the problem. And I'm going to move this if statement actually out here. Makes a bit more sense for it to be here instead. So let's try this. And then I say delay, and then actually what I can do is I can do if delay. I think that works because it returns a function. If not delay, then return. So it's gonna run, it's gonna evaluate this if statement, which is gonna fire this. This should hopefully wait and then get a result back. And if the result's false, it should cancel out. Doesn't look like that's... I mean, it looks like it's instantly firing still. I think, okay, my understanding of how this function works, I think, is still lacking. Because I'm guessing it's running through all of this and then it gets to the return true like instantly. It's not actually waiting. Yield, return, new, wait for seconds. Can I look this up? Wait for seconds in Unity. Suspends the coroutine execution for the given amount of seconds using scaled time. So this implies that it does do it working how I initially set it up. Okay, hold on. So in that case, I'll just Control Z everything. Because it should just be working then. Yeah, okay, okay. This is what we had initially. Start coroutine delay. Yield return new wait for seconds. This pauses the coroutine. Start waiting. There are some factors which can mean the actual amount of time waiting does not precisely match the amount of time specified. Start waiting at the end of the current frame. Start wait for seconds with duration t in a long frame. Allow the coroutine to resume in the first frame after 2 seconds has passed. Okay, let's try doing this. I'm gonna do this and do this just to see. And instead of wait for seconds 0, I'm gonna wait for seconds 5. So I want to see what it spits out. Does work. The issue is that the rest of the function's still executing. And that's because it resumes after the yield is immediately ran, I think. Okay, so I probably need to put the execution of my spell inside the coroutine then, is what I'm getting. So like we basically just let the coroutine handle the logic. So this is fine, it can be 0.1. And then what I'm gonna do is all of this stuff that's happening, we're gonna put in the delay. So after we're done waiting, we can do all this stuff. Oh, move this below. Okay, so this is still not gonna work because this needs to be a yield return, not a yield break. Yield return, no. And then I think, are we finally maybe actually done? We might be. This is gonna pause the code. All of this is halted. I think we're finally there. Let's give this a try. Give it a spin. Okay, quite the delay. I think I have it set to a full second at the moment, actually. So let me reduce this back to 0.3. It looks like it worked properly though. Pop back over. So set it back to 0.3. Still feels like it's taking longer than 0.3. Maybe not, maybe not. So I'm pressing it now. Yeah, it probably is actually accurate. And if we just tap it, it's still happening, interestingly. And I can like multi-tap it. Oh, okay, interesting. So it's still firing even if I let go of the key, which is a concern. So let me check what I do in the execution. Player can move is equal to true. Player casting is equal to false. We're ready to cast again. But what I saw here is it still ran this. So this yield return null didn't actually prevent this from happening. How do I break? Okay, hold on. Break out of a coroutine unity. I think I tried return, didn't I? Yeah, it doesn't work. Yield break. That's what I should use. Oh, so this was just correct then. So all my code in here was right. The only issue was that I was doing this outside the coroutine. Okay, well, once again, I assume that me from 4 years ago is dead wrong. When in actuality, he has way more Unity experience than current me does right now. Still didn't get it completely, but I mean, the code was basically correct. I just needed to put it all in the coroutine. Okay, cool. So we have P shooter working well, dash working well enough, the jump spell working fine now. Appears I still got collision logs on. Should probably get rid of them. Yeah, delete that. That must have been a log that's been around for ages. Anyway. Okay, we should look at... Okay, wall was working fine too. If I pull up the wall spell... Okay, maybe I don't want to look through the wall spell that much. I think it's fine. If I go back to the player, let's rotate to the next set of spells. I've already used half of them. So flamethrower, I'm probably going to have to do some updating for. Okay. So we've added a bunch of new spells in. Let's reboot and take a look at them. So flamethrower. Still looking good. So interestingly, with the flamethrower spell, the keys to control it are up and down, not left and right. With the thorn, it is left and right. So maybe I update it to be left and right then. I feel like it's a little nicer using left and right, where left pulls up and right pushes down. Because left is like pulling back, where right is like pushing. Maybe that's crazy. That's just how I associate it. I mean, the up and down keys are fine too, I guess. But then it's like, if I use that for the up and down keys, I should probably do the same for this. rather than left being this way and right being this way. It should probably also be up and down. I think I prefer left and right though. Left is anti-clockwise, right is clockwise. Can think about it, but... Oh yeah, and I can aim it directly up as well. So if I change my key here, it does work like that. I think the direction you're initially holding has to be the direction that you start firing in. But this is working well enough anyway, regardless. And I can cancel it. Fire the flamethrower. Brr, brr, brr. I need to make the particles like delete themselves when they collide with the objects, which I'm pretty sure is not that difficult to do. So maybe that's something we can try and do. The little zippy zap thing. What else do I have? I've got the heal spell, which works fine, doesn't actually do anything notable. And lastly, we have the thorn, which, yeah, we're pretty happy with. Okay, so what did I want to look at? Oh, that was really weird at the end there, actually. Okay, I'm going to... Let's look at flamethrower first. So I've pretty much copied a lot of this flamethrower code into the thorn. I don't have a lot of the same angle issues. So what if I'm facing right? And this just works. It works with the flamethrower. Like, I don't have any of the issues that I was having with the thorn for some reason. With the flamethrower, it just doesn't have problems. Maybe going by 5 is just more consistent than going by 1. Also, it doesn't really like feel like it's rotating any faster. But I don't know, maybe it is. I think everything else is pretty much the same. Rotate, rotate. Vertical equals true. What do I do with if vertical's true? If vertical, then use right and left keys. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So one thing to know about the flamethrower is that once you start firing it, which I can draw a character for this may as well. So say I'm the guy here, right? And I start firing my flamethrower in this direction. I can only rotate it in an arc of like this. Like, it's not a big arc. Whereas, like, say I threw it up in, say I initially aimed it, actually you can't even aim it. Say I initially aim it up and the arc is like this. I don't allow you to like start aiming this way and then like arc it all the way around behind you. Like I lock the angle to like here. And like that's all you can adjust it by. Which I think is fine. Because your mana is going to run out anyway. And it's kind of like the point of the flamethrower spells. Super high close range DPS. That's like giga AoE. I guess we can leave this. I'll leave this diagram up. I'm so quick to just delete the diagrams, but honestly, probably better to just leave them on the screen. So that's basically what, that's what this section of code corresponds to. So if we're not firing a vertical flamethrower and we're facing right, then do the calculations like this. And in this case, the float addition and subtraction does seem to not cause it to skip past, as far as I can tell. Although I probably haven't like thoroughly experimented with this. But as far as I can tell, that is how it's working. Okay, it does appear to stop. I should really just give it no mana cost, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it. Because otherwise I just have to wait for it to regen. Or alternatively, just give myself infinite mana. Oh, there you go. That time it did it. Okay. So I just haven't noticed it before, but it totally does the same. It has the same problem. Yeah, so I'd have to tweak the flamethrower as well then, probably. So flamethrower's got the same issue that Thorn had. I think the lightning shock thing is... The chain lightning is fine. Can be hard to like aim it, or like in this case, like with these enemies, it's like hard to aim in the direction to hit them. You kind of have to like jump. That's something that I might want to think about. Like the ease of hitting enemies that are like at really awkward angles. Like if they're just at like player height, then you can just fire directly forwards, right? It's pretty easy. But if they're airborne, it's like really finicky to shoot something that's like above you. Especially if it's on an angle. Like directly up is fine, but yeah, it can be a bit finicky, so maybe I want to think about that a bit more. Also, the origin point of this spell, when I'm firing it at an angle, needs to come out of the corner of my player, probably, to be just a bit easier to go with, or to aim it. But I think all the problems have been ironed out. That's the heal spell. I can throw thorns. I think the particles look way better now that they've been randomized a little bit. Maybe I do give them trails as well. I don't know. I'm like messing around so much with this particle system. All right, let's try to give the particles hitboxes so that they don't pass through scenery and stuff. Which actually, I'm not looking at this. I need to look at the explosions. I'm not going to use this. Bom bada badum badum bom. Bada badum badum bom. What do I want to use? When in doubt, just play Samus and chill. Okay, we need to find where are my explosions. So they would be in particles, explosions. Let's go with the thought explosion first. So I want to make it so that it doesn't pass through stuff. Collision. Tick. Type planes or world. Select transform. Unity, delete particles on collision. Destroy single particles. So it is enable the collision trigger. Enable collision module and set life loss to 1. Change the layers in collide with. I don't see the collide with layers. Type world or type planes? Enable collision module and particle system and set life loss to 1. Change the layers and collide with, and your object to destroy the particles. The particle only collides with the collider of a specific layer. problem is that this is from 2020. It's definitely an older version of Unity. Is there one on the new version? World 2D. Where do I show layers? Collides with. Aha. Let's set collisions with ground, wall, ceiling. And then, what was it? Lifetime loss? Oh, what's the lifetime of my particles? I can't remember. Is it just a second? It's not even a second. It's like a 0.3. I'll just set lifetime loss to 1 then. And then let's just try that and see if it works. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, it seems to just instantly vanish all of the particles now. Very strange. Oh, actually, do you see that? That looks so weird. It's like deleting them so much higher than it should be. Like, I can aim pretty low on this one. Okay, I'm just not charging it for long enough. Yeah, it's like cutting it off here. That's super weird. Thorn explosion, collision, mode 2D, bounce, lifetime loss, max kill speed, radius scale. If I do 0. Gotta mess around with this a little bit until we figure out what works. Okay, that's promising. Okay, now it just doesn't pick up at all. What if I do 0.1? Collider force, enable dynamic colliders. Oh, actually, I think I know what it is. I think it's the fact that the center of the spawn point for the particles is already inside. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like I've made the collision a lot smaller now, but it's still arcing, which looks kind of dumb. I aim it for the corner. I mean, this is better, obviously, but it shouldn't arc like that. So the issue is it needs to be slightly off. So like what I actually want to do is I want to have the collision radius be 1. Like this radius scale should be 1, but what I actually need to do is go into the thorn projectile, and the part where it's gonna jump to it. No, that doesn't make sense though. That's still, no, I know it doesn't do that. What the heck? Maybe I can just make it lower than 0.1 and maybe I can get it to work. Okay, hold on. Maybe 0.01, for example. What's this gonna look like? Okay, that looks pretty good. I've just made it a lot smaller and it looks to be working now. So I imagine it is still arcing, but the arc is like a 10th. You can't even tell. Like the particles are big enough that you can't even tell at this point. And then I've still got the fireball on. So I can probably update the fireball thing to do exactly the same, the fireball explosion. And I can even update the flamethrower particles too. So add collision onto this. Worlds, 2D. Collides with ceiling player, no, not player. Ceiling, ground, wall. I think it's fine that it goes through like enemies and the player. Like that's probably what I want regardless. And then let me go back to the thorn explosion and take a look again. Collision. Yeah, that's the same. So I still need to update the radius on this. Radius scale 0.01. Lifetime loss. How long does this go for? Yeah, 1's fine again. Okay, and then the flamethrower particles as well. So the particle system on this also appears to go, it's like about 0.7. So we can do -1 again. Collision. Lifetime loss 1. It's already set the world. Oh, I've already tried messing around with collision for this. That's interesting. Remove it from enemy. I have actually tried to do the collision stuff. I guess I just couldn't get to work. Lifetime loss. Radius scale again. Set to 0.01. Let's try running these. So first, I'll double check the thorn should still be working properly. Aim it here. Yep. The fireball. It's kind of hard to tell because the fireball's explosion's a little too small. If I aim it into the corner, we should be able to see if it's working or not. Yeah, that looked correct. And then lastly, we can try the flamethrower. Okay, aim from too far away. Let's do it from up close so we can see if it's actually going through the wall or not. Yeah, it clearly isn't, which is good. Now, the only thing that I'm a little concerned about is whether or not the hitbox is still there, because it might be. In the scene, I have this particle system, which is the flamethrower one. But I can't see the hitbox. But that might just be because the hitbox disappears as soon as I let go of the key. Like, I can't pause it without... The moment it pauses, it doesn't count as the key. Flamethrower clone, and then it turns into particle system, yeah. So the issue there is that the hitbox is probably instantly there. Like if I aim here and I'm trying to like let go right as the flamethrower comes out. I'm not holding it long enough. Okay, I think it takes damage before the particles even reach it, is the issue. Yeah, it does. Which is gonna look weird, because if I put an enemy behind this wall, it'll hit the enemy even though the particles aren't hitting it. Which means I'd have to like dynamically set the... How have I done this? I'd have to dynamically set the hitbox. Which I don't really know how to do. Wait, it's not hitting it. Wait, is it when the particles collide? Maybe the particles have the collision then. I guess it would make sense. Huh, okay. Well, I mean, there goes that issue. Apparently I have coded that properly. Once again, past me, actually doing a good job. Okay. I think we polished some stuff. I mean, I mostly did just some reviewing of some past scripts again. Spent a lot of time messing around with the coroutine stuff. We fixed up the jump spell. But yeah, nothing too crazy tonight. That's fine. I think tomorrow I'll get started on another new spell. So we'll do some more actually exciting stuff. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually use the... we will use... wherever I've put it... where did I put it? Prefabs? I can't remember. Yeah, this. I'm thinking of using... we might get started on this one. May as well use this. Like, if I made this object, I may as well use it, right? I think it'll be fun to try and, like, make a big-ass lightning bolt that comes down. I probably want to review how I've set up the... not the thunder... the small chain. I've set this thing up. Because this thing looks crazy. Oh, this is just like a singular projectile and then it leaves a trail, I guess. Yeah. It actually looks cool. Zip. So this is what's happening and I'm just moving it like this. Which I guess makes sense. Weird? Wait, I can't like move them together. Hello? If I move the parent object, it doesn't move the particle system? What? Oh, it does? I just have to click on the particle system to update it. That's really weird. Okay, anyway. So I'm basically just emitting a whole bunch of particles and they all have like they all have a trail on them. So as I move this object through space, you get that light trail effect. And I'm just manually doing the zigzag. Yeah, I'm just manually handling the zigzag, but I probably want to update that at some point as well. But I mean, looks fine for the time being. Okay, interesting. So it's just a regular circle projectile, but has this particle system on top of it. Okay, fair enough. And again, that's for this little lightning shock spell. If you look close, you can actually see the yellow circle, which I should just be hiding behind the particle system. But I mean, you can't even really notice it unless you're looking really close. Zip, zip, zip. Sometimes it doesn't change directions. That's so weird. Figure out why it's doing that sometime as well. Also, it's like... also looks weird when I'm moving forwards and just press it. Looks like it goes further. Maybe I'm imagining that though. Oh, actually, okay, I know what it is. I understand. Bit of an illusion there, I guess. It's because you only see the bit that's sticking out in front of you, and it's toggling up and down so fast it looks like there's two of them, but it's just one. And you can tell when you look back at it before it fades away. Anyway. But yes. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna call tonight here. Didn't do too much, but hey. That's how some of these dailies are gonna go. Learned a bit, at least. We did learn some stuff. And that's pretty important too. Okay. Alright, so thanks everyone who stopped by for tuning in. I'll be back on tomorrow night for some more coding. And we will, again, I'll probably start working on this big lightning strike spell. I might make the cloud a bit bigger. I'll see. And I might try to adjust the particles that are coming out of it too. But we have to make this gigantic freaking lightning bolt. I kind of like want a whole bunch of particles. Oh, I don't really know actually. Maybe it's best to just have it be one particle that zips down. I think that would be best actually. It's a particle system that shoots one particle. and it just zips down to the ground. Okay, we'll see what we can do with that. But I mean, first we'll get the spell working. I'm guessing the actual lightning strike probably won't be until the following daily. But yeah. Again, thanks everyone who stopped by for tuning in, and I will catch you all next time. Have a good one.